Hello for me and my messy ponytail. I watch a lot from this channel, Ms. Mojo, or as they say, Ms. Mojo.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo.
I like their videos. I like that they rank things, whether I agree with the ranking or not. A big fan of putting things in some kind of order. So today I want to react to this video called Top 10 Movie Couples with the Best Chemistry. I'm a big fan of, romance movies. So I'm excited to see what movies they put in the ranking. So here we go.
Number 10, Celine and Jesse, the Before Trilogy. Richard Linklater's Before Trilogy is able to capture the way relationships evolve as we grow and age, and all the cynicism that can bring.
But if you want true love, then this is it. This is real life. It's not perfect, but it's real. And if you can't see it, then you're blind, all right? I give up.
How is this number 10? I feel like the Before Trilogy is so good. And that line in the third movie, I remember seeing it and I was like, oh, it just feels, I don't know, so real and so true to life, which I think is one of many compliments about that trilogy is it feels very, lived in. And I think Linklater worked a lot with the two actors to kind of come, agree on details of their characters as well as dialogue. And I'm a huge fan of that trilogy. So if that's number 10, I think I already disagree with the ranking.
But the films wouldn't work nearly as well as they do without the intense chemistry between Jesse and Celine, played to perfection by Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy.
Must be like him in your dream and you in mine or something.
And what's so cool is that this whole evening, all our time together, shouldn't officially be happening.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's why this feels so otherworldly.
The structure of the films is set up to convey a deep connection, two people having interesting and passionate conversations over the course of a night or an afternoon. Hawks and Delpy's contributions to the material cannot be overstated, both helping with the screenplays and bringing their personal lives into the story. Perhaps that's why their chemistry feels so grounded in reality.
I feel I was never able to forget anyone I've been with, because each person had their own specific qualities. You can never replace anyone. What is lost is lost.
That's a good point that's brought up, that their chemistry has been strong since the first movie, right? And then they, I think, went back 10 years later to make the second one, and then more than 10 years later for the last installment of the trilogy. And I liked their youthful chemistry in the first movie, of that kind of awkward, bumping into a stranger and that turning into a romance.
Number 9, Ennis and Jack, Brokeback Mountain. We'll never get over this story about two lonesome cowboys or the beautiful chemistry at the movie center.
Okay, so Brokeback Mountain is number 9, which Brokeback Mountain is one of my favorite movies. One of the few movies that I would consider like a perfect 10, like I wouldn't change anything about it. Number 10 and number 9 are like very high on my, personal list.
Ennis and Jack have a complicated relationship, to say the least, and playing the characters to their full potential couldn't have been an easy task. But Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger were more than up for it.
For how long?
As long as we can ride it. There ain't no reins on this one.
So, where did all that natural chemistry come from? Well, the two already knew each other, but director Ang Lee said he thinks their innocence really helped carry the movie through. And we think he's right.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Then why don't you?
The actors play well off of each other, but they both have an earnestness about them that jumps out even when they're trying to hold back, making for a compelling romance.
Sometimes I miss you so much I can hardly stand it.
What I like about it is that to me, it wasn't like an instantaneous, burning chemistry desire. Like, I didn't even really see that coming until the infamous tent scene. And then after that, how their relationship kind of changes and how they both kind of deal with that was so strong. And I think the word earnest is really a great word. Good job, the writer at Ms. Mojo, because that's a perfect way to describe their relationship.
Number 8, Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, Pride and Prejudice. Elizabeth has bewitched Mr. Darcy, body and soul. And honestly, their chemistry has us feeling that type of way too. Pride and Prejudice begins with Darcy and Elizabeth at odds, but that initial distaste only gives their relationship and affection for each other more time to grow.
So what do you recommend to encourage affection?
Dancing. Even if one's partner is barely tolerable.
Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden both really lean into the yearning aspect of the love story. Plenty of long, lingering looks and titillating hand flexes in this one, folks. But what really sends this dual performance over the top is the way both actors are able to effortlessly handle the dialogue.
Are you laughing at me?
No.
Are you rejecting me?
I'm sure that the feelings which, as you've told me, have hindered your regard will help you in overcoming it.
I totally agree that the dialogue is so of its time, and it feels a bit stilted to us, perhaps, but that the two actors handle it so well. And it's almost like what they're saying can be very direct, but it also can be kind of veiled, but the emotion is still coming through, and you totally get what their character's dynamic is from the beginning. And I think Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy are like the most haters to lovers trope, like the end game for most people. And I think it is a good example of that.
They throw every ounce of romance, bite, and intelligence they have at it. And we love it. Most ardently.
You have bewitched me, body and soul, and I love, and love, and love you. I never wish to be parted from you from this day on.
Number 7, Diane and Lloyd, Say Anything.
I'm actually not a huge fan of Say Anything. I love 80s movies. I've seen a ton of them. And I remember seeing this one as a teen, and I was like, oh yeah, this one's like super famous. And I saw it, and I just didn't really like it. I didn't think that their chemistry was that good. And the boombox scene, like, it's because the song is so good, right? The song is doing a lot of heavy lifting for this movie.
We all know the boombox scene by heart, but we shouldn't forget about the wonderful romance that leads to that moment.
I just can't have any social life right now.
Don't worry about it. We're just having coffee. We'll be antisocial.
You friends?
Yeah. Potential.
Diane and Lloyd don't seem like a match made in heaven at first glance. He's a bit of a slacker, she's top of the class. He doesn't have much of a plan for anything. She plans everything out to the letter. But from that very first phone call, you can tell how charmed they both are by each other. From his nervous rambling to her responding bemusement.
By the way, I wanted to just tell you that I lived in England for 3 months. And my parents lived in Holland, so we lived in England. In Germany, that could give you an enormous amount of tips.
John Cusack and Ione Skye really nail that exciting butterflies in your stomach beginning part of a relationship that we all love so much.
Nobody really thinks it will work, do they?
No. You just described every great success story.
So it's not that I don't think that they have chemistry. Yeah, they have chemistry, but I just remember not really caring about the characters, not being really invested in if they ended up together or not, which is, a big sin for kind of a romantic movie. And it's just very odd. Maybe I should rewatch it and try and analyze why I'm not a huge fan, because I love, opposites attract. I'm a big fan of that. But it just didn't work for me in this movie.
Number 6, Maria and Tony, West Side Story. Love at first sight is difficult to convey effectively. But with a little help from Stephen Sondheim and Leonard Bernstein, Natalie Wood and Richard Beamer were able to do just that as Maria and Tony in West Side Story.
Good, that we've met before.
I know we have not.
The concept of love at first sight just seems a bit bizarre to me. I can understand it on some level, but it just seems very, very superficial. They just like how each other looks, or I guess they just feel this magnetism to each other. Love at first sight just doesn't work on me to base a whole romance around.
This classic musical follows the Romeo and Juliet-esque pair as they try to be together despite interference from their respective families and friends. The moment they first meet really shows just how strong their connection is.
You're not making a joke.
I have not yet learned how to joke that way.
And they're acting like they're like bewitched, like under a spell, which to me comes off as a bit creepy versus like, so romantic.
Number 5, Elena and Alejandro, The Mask of Zorro. Not only do these two have physical chemistry that's off the charts, and how could they not? Have you seen both of them? But their fighting chemistry is pretty incredible too.
I don't have the time to give you the proper instruction.
I have had the proper instruction since I was 4.
I don't think anyone in the history of film has been more, physically attractive than this duo in this movie. So, good casting on the physical attraction front. And also, yeah, they have really good chemistry. And I just like both of these characters so much. And part of this is nostalgia. I saw this, as a kid. But seeing these clips, I'm just like, yes.
Two meet while Alejandro is undercover at a party. And the spark is electric. But while we love watching their choreography when they dance, the way they move in tune with each other when they sword fight is spectacular.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I'm actually surprised that this movie didn't come to mind before I started watching this video, because I was kind of trying to think about like, okay, what movies are they going to use it? This is such a great one. And they do have, I would just say like natural chemistry. Like they just, I don't know, it doesn't feel forced. And I like that it's a little bit like funny.
Number 4, Annie and Jack, Speed. The non-stop action in Speed might be heart-pounding, but the chemistry between Keanu Reeves' Jack and Sandra Bullock's Annie is heart-fluttering. Jack and Annie's relationship starts off quite intensely.
It's a game. If he gets the money, he wins. If the bus blows up, he wins.
What if you win?
Then tomorrow we'll play another one.
But I'm not available to drive tomorrow. Busy.
Reeves and Bullock are able to find the heart of the characters underneath all the wild action stunts.
You're not gonna get mushy on me, are you?
Maybe. I think I might.
And we love the quiet moments between them just as much as we love the jaw-dropping ones.
You didn't leave me.
Didn't have anywhere to be just then.
Their dynamic is so likable. I wouldn't say it's like physically steamy per se, but I think it's a different side of romance and just having a genuine likability of one another and appreciation of the other person. So a good depiction of that.
3, Monica and Quincy, Love and Basketball.
One game, one-on-one.
For what?
Your heart.
Playing a one-on-one basketball game for your relationship may seem a bit dramatic, but by the time you get to that pivotal scene in Love and Basketball, you're already so invested in Monica and Quincy, it doesn't matter.
I don't have too much to say about this one. I never fully loved the character of Quincy.
Things between this couple aren't always easy. When you grow up together, there are bound to be some growing pains.
If I stayed, I wouldn't be stuck.
Or at least you got your priorities straight.
I never asked you to choose.
You'd never have to.
And going back to that one-on-one game because we love it, the actors effortlessly capture the couple's chemistry with their athleticism as well. Seriously, who knew so much could be said with a simple basketball game?
Hey. Double or nothing.
I guess I'd kind of forgotten about how good their chemistry was, but yeah, I agree.
You want to dance with me?
Sure.
Yeah, The Notebook, it's an obvious choice. People were infatuated with the movie when it came out. I didn't see it until years later, but I remember being in junior high and hearing everybody talking about it. And a lot of that has to do with how good their chemistry was. But I wonder what percentage of people's interest in the movie was because, you know, knowing that the two stars were dating after the movie came out. I think that always kind of plays into how we feel about certain relationships on camera in movies.
But the scenes between them as young Noah and Allie are utterly joyous and exuberant. They also dated in real life, so they must have gotten over whatever it was.
Now say you're a bird too.
If you're a bird, I'm a bird.
They're building up my anticipation to what their number one is going to be. I don't know, Romeo plus Juliet. That's one of my personal favorites. Yeah, let's find out.
Number 1, Rose and Jack, Titanic. Once again, we will never let go of this couple.
I didn't see Titanic for a long time. I saw it when I was 14, so many, many, many years after it come out. I saw it, I was in my bed, I was watching it on, I think, my laptop. I must have had a laptop on my phone. I did not watch it on my phone. I saw it on a computer. And I remember just sobbing into my pillow and just like being emotionally destroyed. And part of that is, you know, any kind of disaster is terrifying, right? And the movie did a really good job of building that up. And I just remember loving the score so much, and how they used the music and how all the elements came together. But yeah, they did have really good chemistry. I see why it's number 1. Is it my own personal number 1? Probably not.
Open your eyes.
I'm flying. Jack.
Well, they didn't show the rest of that scene when they're kissing, but I remember thinking that looks so uncomfortable. She has her neck like craned way back. It just looked a bit awkward to me. But all right, that was another great video from Miss Mojo. Check it out if you want to see the whole thing. I did, obviously edit some things out. All right, have a good rest of your day.